just want to invite everybody into my kitchen. So today we're actually going to do something that's kind of neat. I really like this one. It's called Labneh. You may have seen it. It's become quite popular, say about 5 years ago in at least in kind of Western Canada. I started to see it on the odd menu, restaurant menu. And it makes sense because it is delicious. So it's a Middle Eastern dish that is strained yogurt. Sounds simple enough. You just need to plan ahead because you need 24 to 48 hours to strain it. We're going to serve that, and it's got a wonderful topping as well. Beautiful, colorful, flavorful toppings that we're going to put on it. And we're going to serve it with some grilled fresh bread as well, right off the barbecue. So perfect summertime appetizer or starter. Would work great for a hot evening in the summer. It'd be really, really good. So we're going to get started on this. And so to put this together, we mentioned it's strained yogurt, so very, very easy to do. I start with good quality yogurt. So you're looking for one of those higher fat yogurts. To me, don't bother using this with a low fat yogurt. They're typically adjusted, the consistency is adjusted with something other than fat, so we're looking for a high fat yogurt. So what we've done is you take your yogurt. So if you start with 4 cups of yogurt, you will get 2 cups of Labneh when you are done. You're basically removing the moisture or the whey from the yogurt, concentrating its richness and the fat and the proteins in it. So you take 1/4 teaspoon of salt per cup of yogurt. You stir that together, and then as you can see here, I have a strainer set up with cheesecloth inside, and I'm going to unwrap this. This has got about 24 hours of straining time on it. If you open it up and it's not where you want it, then you can certainly do it longer. For that reason, again, I would kind of start a couple days ahead. It will store well in your fridge for at least 2 weeks if you use proper kind of technique to store it. So I'm going to open this up here. We'll have a little look. You can see that it's quite a bit thicker than just straight yogurt. It's got the texture of fresh cheese is basically what you're going to end up with. So kind of like North American style cream cheese a little bit. So we're going to take that out of the strainer and put it into a bowl. Now it's kind of cool when you can see the texture when it's come out of there. You can actually see the texture of the cheesecloth. So that's how concentrated that it's become. And to that, we're actually going to add a little bit of lemon zest. At this point, you can really have some fun with it. You could simply add chilies. You could add fresh herbs chopped up to it. Obviously, lemon zest, as I'm doing today, is a really good option. It really enhances enhances the already freshness that you have going on. So we're just going to use the grater to get ourselves a little bit of that. Get that lemon zest in there. Now, I've already seasoned this with a little bit of salt. I went a little bit less than 1/2 teaspoon per, so we're going to add a little bit more at this point. And then I'm just going to stir everything together. So just make sure that the salt and the lemon zest is nicely incorporated. Of course, when you use the lemon zest in something like this too, it's not acidic, it's more aromatic, so you end up getting this really, really nice kind of lemony hint of things. Okay. So the texture is just mind-bogglingly creamy and smooth, like just amazing. So at that point, you are ready to go. You're ready to kind of plate it up. So I'm going to set that off to the side. You want to get yourself a nice platter, something interesting to present this on. So then we're going to build our topping before we assemble all this. So our toppings go together. Basically, your toppings are going to be a good quality olive oil that is going to be enhanced with a bunch of kind of flavoring things. The things that I look for when you're thinking of a Labneh and the toppings that you're going to put on it, you're typically looking for contrast in colors and contrast in textures. We're going to achieve that today through a couple things. We're going to take, first of all, good quality olive oil, like I mentioned. And usually a good quality extra virgin olive oil will be super bright in color, and that's going to be majorly beneficial for us to put on top of the Labneh. The color will be very vibrant. So extra virgin olive oil. Again, what is a good quality extra virgin olive oil? You have to, first of all, if you're getting it for a steal of a deal, it's probably not good quality. I tend to want to spend a little bit more on my olive oil and again find out where it's from. When you open that bottle of olive oil, I tend to just take a small spoonful of it and analyze it from there. We did that with this one, and we decided it was delicious and had a little peppery note to it. So then we're going to add to the olive oil is some Kalamata olives. And we're just going to lightly chop them up. We're not looking for unfined ice or anything like that. I like to keep the integrity of the ingredients that we're going to put on this, because I find that really looks nice. It makes it look pretty, and you can bite into the olive and you're getting that whole thing. As I mentioned too, we're talking contrast here, very important, flavor-wise. And the Kalamata olives are salty. They're going to have a naturally kind of salty, briny kind of flavor to it. So that's perfect. We're covering our bases on kind of what we were looking for. I'm going to add a little bit of dried chili. Fresh chili would be fine as well. I like to use the dried chili in this particular case. So a little bit of dried chili, again, to your liking. You don't have to make it spicy. I consider using chilies more adding interest than it is adding a bunch of spice. Then we're going to add something called sumac. Sumac is a Middle Eastern spice blend. It has thyme, oregano, marjoram, and mixed with sesame seeds, salt, and sumac. Sumac, I'm going to bump up the sumac. Sumac is a red seed from a bush, kind of grows around the Mediterranean. They grind it up. It has a really nice citrusy note to it, so that works really well with this. Again, all those kind of fresh flavors together. So a little bit of sumac in there. A little sprinkle of salt and pepper, and we'll give her a little shot more of olive oil. Just, you want to make sure everything's well coated in the olive oil. There's really no particular amount of all this. You want it to just kind of be coated well in the olive oil. So that's what we're looking for there. So we got all those spices and everything in there, and that's going to be the first part of it. So then what we're going to do is we'll grab our platter here, and we're just going to spoon our labneh right onto the platter. And then this is where the fun part comes, because you get to see how easy everything kind of comes together. So we're going to take that creamy mixture and we're going to spread it around on the platter. You want to create, it doesn't have to actually have like walls on it, but I do like to spread it out really nicely. Just like so. And then we're going to top it. We're going to top it with our olive oil mixture. And you can just spoon that over, and the colors right away, you get that contrast. Contrast in this particular time, contrast in the colors. The brilliant color of the olive oil, as well as the spices that are in there, as well as the olives, makes a great contrast. So we're going to spoon that over top. Then we're going to add to that, we're going to add pomegranate seeds. Again, this is where that contrast comes in. Contrast in texture and in color, obviously flavor as well in this particular case. This is a really common, authentic kind of Middle Eastern ingredient, as well as, and that's why it goes so well with this. So we'll sprinkle some of those on. Then we're going to put crushed pistachios on, and again, they have a brilliant green color as well as a great texture. So we're going to sprinkle those on top. As you can see, if you had a group of people over for dinner in the summer months, and you brought this out, you could assemble this in seconds and have everything ready to go. You would be a superstar. People would be very, very impressed with what you'd be getting. So we're going to take a little bit of fresh mint, again, adding to the aromatics of this whole thing. You know, the lemon and the mint and everything in it is such a nice contrast. So you just need a few sprigs of mint or leaves of mint, and we're going to julienne this a little bit. And that will give a nice delicate mint over the whole thing. You don't want a whole bunch of this by any means, or big leaves of it. You want nice fine things. And then you can kind of sprinkle it on. And there you go. So this is our labneh with, of course, with the olives, pomegranate seeds and pistachios and fresh mint. Such a great summer appetizer. We're going to get out to the barbecue. We're going to grill some bread to go with this, and then it's go time. Then we're going to eat. Here we are out of the barbecue. We're going to grill up our fresh bread to go with our labneh that we've just made. So I have a couple things what you want to consider when you're doing this. If you're making your own dough, you want it to this stage where it's getting nice and puffy, proofed, I guess you'd call it. So that way it's ready to be, it's pliable and you could stretch it out quite easily. I've taken kind of a little bit of a shortcut, but I recommend it strongly if you don't have the time to kind of build your own dough. Sorry, Jared. And so what we've done here, you can go to any store, grocery store, and you can get yourself frozen pizza dough. It will work really well for this. And so what I've done is I thawed it in the fridge overnight, cut it into quarters, and then I rolled each of those into a ball and put it on a plate with a little bit of oil. So that's been proofing now for the afternoon, and it's ready to go. We've got our barbecue here, preheated, organized and preheated. I've also got a little bit of garlic oil for when it comes off, so we can brush it with a bit of garlic oil. So what we'll do is we have it turned up. It's almost at 500 degrees right now. We might turn it down a little bit. This is not something that you put on and walk away. This is something that's going to be cooked within probably 6 minutes. So it's very quick. So we'll take the plastic off and get this going. So basically, you want to make sure there's a fair bit of oil on each of those dough, and you can see there's some dough, a little bit of oil on the plate. So just make sure it's coated well, and then you're just going to gently stretch it out. If it is proof to the degree that you need it, it won't argue with you. It'll kind of come along. So you don't want to tear it. That's the only thing that you're wanting to be really careful about. All right, so you stretch that out, make sure it's got oil on it, and you're going to go right on the grill with that. This is a nice trick. This works for so many different things. Any dip that you might be doing, if you grill some bread and serve it alongside, people are typically blown away by the lovely textures. Also, what I'm doing here right now is very useful. We do our pizzas this way at home on a regular basis. Exactly what I'm doing here. So we're going to stretch that one out. So a multitude of uses for this, for sure. All right, so we'll get that one on and one more to go. From the time you get the last one on, you're going to close the lid for about 20 seconds. Then you're going to have a quick peek to see what they're doing. You just need to know what happens very quickly. All right, so the last one goes on. Usually at this point, that one's almost ready to come off. So we'll close the lid. We're going to give it approximately 3 minutes. And in that time, you'll be amazed what happens. It's going to puff up. Once they're cooked properly, or once they're to that stage that you want, they will release from the grill. So you don't have to worry too much about it. The common misconception when you put dough right on the grill like that is people quite often say, doesn't it fall through? As you can see, it doesn't. It holds on very well. So we'll just give that a few minutes. So we've had about 3 minutes, so we're going to have a quick look and see what we've got going on there, see what our dough is doing. It's always kind of a cool thing to see what we get here. So if you want to come in and just have a quick look here, it's released right off, and we get this beautiful golden crust. Yum, right? You look at that and you think garlic butter and anything else that might go on it. So beautiful grill marks on it. Okay. Multitude of uses for this, obviously. So there we are, we got that flipped, and we're going to close this. When it's almost done, I will brush the top with garlic oil, and then we're going to take it in. We can cut it up, and we're going to try a little bit of the Labneh. So we'll close that. Again, you're looking at about another 2 to 3 minutes, and that will be ready to go. Okay, so we've had another 3 minutes of our bread on the grill, and we're going to have a quick look and see what we're doing here. So again, we're going to flip it over just to kind of see what we got going on. So you can see the color is just perfect. That's exactly what we were hoping for. So once we get to that stage, we're going to take a little bit of garlic oil. Now this is just simply fresh garlic, a little bit of vegetable oil or olive oil would work fine, a little bit of salt and pepper. So that's going to add that nice garlicky thing. And that's when I look at something like this, hot bread coming off the grill, my mind goes to garlic for sure. Okay, so we'll get that on there. Spread it evenly around. Okay, and then we're just going to take everything inside. This will give us our chance to try everything. All right, so here we are. We've finished our product, and really excited to try this. So we've made, again today, we made a beautiful Labneh, which is a yogurt dip, and we've topped it with olives, pomegranate, and a little bit of fresh mint and some pistachios. Thank you for joining us today. We are planning on doing more videos and getting them out there to you. If you'd like to see more of Divine Cooking, check us out on our website at divinecooking.ca or Divine Cooking at Home on Instagram. Please join us for more kick-ass food and kick-ass fun.
Chef Daisy, where are you?